Hey there, Golden State Warriors fans. We got a lot to unpack today, and it's going to be a deep dive into where this team is right now and what we can expect in the coming weeks. First off, the Warriors are back on the court, and as much as we all love watching them play, there's no denying that there are some serious question marks surrounding this team at the moment. Fans, analysts, and even casual observers are left wondering exactly where this team is headed. Are they going to fight their way back to being a top contender? Or are we looking at another season of hovering around a mediocre record, trying to catch up game after game? Right now, it feels like we're in that familiar territory, the same position as last year. The team is just treading water, hovering just above or just below a 50% win rate, sometimes winning a few games in a row and then losing a few, constantly playing catch-up instead of setting the pace. It really makes you stop and think. Where can this team realistically go from here? Luckily for the Warriors, trade season is officially underway. Almost 90% of NBA players are now eligible to be traded, which opens the door to some interesting possibilities. The next key date to watch is January 15th, when Jonathan Kaminga becomes fully trade eligible. Until then, the Warriors will need to navigate their schedule and make the most out of the current roster. There are small moves that could be made in the short term to strengthen the team and prepare them for potentially larger trades down the line. Those moves could help build momentum, improve chemistry, and position the team to make smarter decisions once Kaminga is eligible. The schedule in the coming weeks actually works in the Warriors' favor. They face the Suns twice, first in Phoenix and then back home, followed by matchups against the Magic and the Mavericks on Christmas Day, and then games against the Raptors, Nets, and Hornets. With the exception of the Magic and Raptors, these should all be winnable games, giving the Warriors a prime opportunity to climb the standings and start creating some real momentum. Momentum is key for this team. If the Warriors can take those initial wins against Phoenix and carry that energy into their upcoming games, it could set the tone for the rest of the month and even into the new year. A strong run now could give them the leverage they need for trades and ultimately put them in a much better position than if they were just limping along, trying to tread water. Of course, basketball never follows a straight line. There's always the chance that Murphy's Law kicks in and everything goes wrong. But even in that scenario, the Warriors have some important decisions to make. Leadership needs to assess the core of the team, with players like Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, and the coaching staff needing to decide which direction the team should go. A lot of the younger players seem to be playing for stats rather than for wins, and this stretch of games is the perfect opportunity for them to prove that they can contribute to team success and championship aspirations. Jonathan Kaminga is one of those players under the microscope. His development has been somewhat stalled by recent DNPs, which is always tough on a young player trying to show their worth. Those benchings may be intended to protect him from injury and preserve trade value, but they also risk limiting his opportunities to demonstrate what he can do on the court. If the Warriors want to maximize his trade value, or even his contribution to the team, he needs consistent minutes to showcase his skills and potential. Steph Curry has publicly acknowledged this, emphasizing the importance of Kaminga maintaining confidence and focus despite the setbacks. Curry's leadership in moments like this is invaluable. It's not just about winning games, but also about cultivating the right mindset and resilience in younger teammates. Kaminga's future might lie with another team, but how ready he is when that opportunity comes could define his career trajectory. The lessons he learns now about staying prepared and confident could determine whether he becomes a key player elsewhere or just another player who didn't reach his potential. While we're focused on the Warriors, the broader NBA landscape is also creating ripple effects for the team. Talks surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo have been a hot topic, with the Bucks positioning themselves as buyers rather than sellers at the trade deadline. This impacts the Warriors indirectly because acquiring a player like Giannis would require a massive package, including draft picks and possibly some of the team's young assets. The reality is that the Warriors have options, with multiple first-round picks and tradable players. But whether bringing in a superstar like Giannis truly solves their issues is debatable. While pairing him with Steph Curry and others could create a powerful core, there are questions about fit, paint protection, rebounding, and shooting. These factors complicate the hypothetical trade scenario and make it clear that the Warriors need to weigh small, smart moves that address current roster needs while keeping flexibility for bigger trades down the line. Ultimately, the key word for the Warriors at this moment is availability. Who is on the floor consistently, who can contribute night in and night out, and who fits the team's long-term plan. Players like Gary Payton II, Pat Spencer, Seth Curry, and Will Richardson appear to have roles that make sense for the team. Others, like Kaminga, Moses Moody, and Buddy Hield, are potentially expendable, and even Al Horford's limited availability raises questions about his effectiveness in the long-term strategy. Making strategic moves now, whether that means trading veterans for assets, adjusting rotations, or giving young players more opportunity to prove themselves, could define the team's trajectory for the rest of the season. Even if bigger trades fall through, positioning the roster correctly now ensures that the Warriors are prepared to capitalize on opportunities when they arise. Looking ahead, imagine a scenario where the Warriors package certain players and draft picks to bring in a proven big man or complementary veteran that could stabilize rotations, create a stronger bench, and make the upcoming trade of Kaminga smoother. These moves could also allow the team to fully invest in players like Pat Spencer, moving him off a two-way contract and into a larger role. Every decision made in the next few weeks carries weight, and the front office has to act decisively to set the team up for success. The schedule, the trade possibilities, the development of young players, and the chemistry of the core group all intersect now, making this a critical stretch for the Warriors season. It's about seizing opportunities, balancing short-term success with long-term planning, and keeping the championship mindset alive even as challenges arise. Continuing with the Warriors, let's dive into the upcoming matchups and the challenges the team will face in the next few weeks. While some of the schedule looks favorable, there are still plenty of hurdles that could affect the team's rhythm and performance. Playing the Suns twice in a row is always a test, even if the Warriors historically have had their number. The first game in Phoenix will require focus, energy, and discipline, because the Suns have proven they can exploit defensive lapses. The Warriors will need to execute their game plan perfectly, relying on ball movement, off-ball cuts, and strong perimeter defense. Stephen Curry will undoubtedly be the focal point, but the supporting cast has to step up. Players like Draymond Green, Moses Moody, and Jordan Poole must maintain intensity on both ends, knowing that every possession counts in setting the tone for the next stretch of games. Home court advantage for the second matchup against Phoenix offers a slightly easier path, but the challenge is never entirely removed. The Warriors will need to avoid complacency, especially after what could be a morale-boosting road win. Consistency is the name of the game, and the team cannot afford lapses in concentration or effort. Following these games, the Magic and Mavericks will test the Warriors' adaptability and ability to adjust quickly. Orlando has been unpredictable this season, capable of surprising teams on both ends of the floor, while Dallas always brings a physical presence and skilled shooters who can punish defensive mistakes. The Christmas Day matchup against the Mavericks carries extra weight, both in terms of fan attention and team morale. Winning on a national stage can generate momentum, but falling short could set a negative tone for the next series of games. Beyond individual games, the Warriors' bigger challenge remains roster management and chemistry. Jonathan Kaminga's limited playing time continues to be a talking point, as his development is crucial not only for his trade value, but also for the team's potential in the immediate future. The coaching staff must strike a delicate balance, providing enough minutes for him to grow and contribute without risking injury or disrupting rotations. At the same time, other young players like Moses Moody and Jordan Poole need clear roles that maximize their strengths while fostering team cohesion. Draymond Green and Stephen Curry continue to provide veteran leadership, emphasizing effort, preparation, and a championship mindset. Their guidance is essential for keeping the locker room unified and focused on team goals rather than individual statistics. The broader landscape of the league also influences the Warriors' decisions. Potential trades, the looming eligibility of Kaminga, and the value of draft picks all play into how aggressively the team should pursue roster moves. While big trades involving stars like Giannis Antetokounmpo are often discussed, The reality is that these are complex deals with long-term implications. Acquiring a superstar could alter the team's dynamics significantly, but it might not address fundamental issues like consistency, bench depth, and defensive reliability. Sometimes small, strategic moves, trading for a reliable big man, securing an additional shooter, or shoring up depth at key positions, can provide more immediate benefits than chasing marquee names. The Warriors need to think several moves ahead, anticipating trade possibilities and adjusting the roster to remain competitive both now and down the line. Another critical factor is player availability. Injuries and inconsistent participation have already highlighted weaknesses in the current roster. Al Horford's limited appearances, for instance, show the risks of relying on veteran players who cannot contribute consistently. Maximizing contributions from players who are healthy, motivated, and integrated into the system is essential. Gary Payton II, Pat Spencer, Seth Curry, and Will Richardson represent reliable options that can stabilize rotations and provide critical support for the core. Ensuring that these players receive the minutes and responsibilities they deserve strengthens the overall team framework and prevents over-reliance on inconsistent performers. Looking ahead, the next few games are a chance for younger players to demonstrate readiness. Kaminga, Poole, and Moody must show they can impact games not just with scoring but with defense, decision-making, and leadership. Their ability to rise to the occasion could influence whether the team decides to retain them, trade them, or restructure roles in the long term. For Kaminga in particular, these opportunities are pivotal. Showcasing resilience, skill, and basketball IQ will ensure that when trade talks occur, his value is reflected accurately. Steph Curry's mentorship is critical here, emphasizing mental toughness, preparation, and maintaining confidence even in challenging circumstances. If these young players rise to the occasion, the Warriors have a foundation to build on. If they falter, difficult decisions about roster changes will become unavoidable. The dynamic of trades also continues to play a strategic role. Hypothetical deals involving draft picks, role players, and rotation adjustments can be complex but vital for long-term planning. Packaging assets to acquire a complementary big man or a versatile guard could solve multiple issues simultaneously, from improving bench depth to giving the team a more balanced offense and defense. Even if the ideal trade doesn't materialize, preparing assets and identifying opportunities ensures the Warriors are positioned to act decisively when the right deal comes along. The goal is to avoid stagnation and create a pathway to success, balancing short-term wins with sustainable growth. As the schedule unfolds, maintaining focus and cohesion is key. Winning the first few games against the Suns, Magic, and Mavericks could generate the momentum necessary for a strong December run. Each game represents an opportunity to fine-tune rotations, evaluate player contributions, and reinforce strategies that maximize strengths. Coaching adjustments, lineup experimentation, and disciplined execution will determine whether the Warriors can leverage this stretch to position themselves favorably for the trade deadline and beyond. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The NBA world is buzzing with a rumor that could reshape the league as we know it. Sources close to the situation suggest that Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most dominant forces in basketball today, has allegedly accepted an offer from the Golden State Warriors. The whispers began as casual speculation, but what seems to have leaked from inside the negotiation room has sent shockwaves through front offices and fan bases alike. According to insiders, the deal is not only massive in terms of salary, but reportedly includes unusual contract clauses that have left league executives scrambling to confirm the details. While exact numbers remain unverified, it is believed that the offer is structured in a way that could give the Warriors unprecedented flexibility, potentially reshaping their roster around Giannis in the coming seasons. The leak has sparked intense debate among analysts and former players. Many are trying to assess how a player of Giannis' caliber would fit into Golden State's system, known for its fast pace, sharp shooting, and motion-heavy offense. Some argue that pairing him with the likes of Steph and Curry could create a nearly unstoppable duo, blending size, athleticism, and shooting in a combination rarely seen in NBA history. Others caution that the adjustment period could be tricky, given Giannis' tendency to dominate the paint and the Warriors' reliance on perimeter spacing. Fans are equally divided. Social media is exploding with reactions ranging from sheer excitement to disbelief. Merchandise sales have reportedly spiked in anticipation of the announcement, as supporters imagine a lineup that could challenge every preconception about modern basketball dynasties. Meanwhile, rival teams are said to be quietly recalculating their off-season strategies, realizing that if this move is real, it could tip the balance of power across the league. Even the smallest detail from the negotiation leak is being dissected. Sources hint at certain incentives that might encourage Giannis to stay with the team long-term, making this not just a one-season spectacle, but potentially a dynasty-defining move. Every analyst, commentator, and fan seems to be asking the same question. If this deal goes through, how does the rest of the league respond? While no official confirmation has emerged, the rumor alone has ignited a frenzy that could alter free agency, trade talks, and even the perception of team building in the modern NBA. Whether Giannis stepping into the Warriors' blue and gold is fantasy or soon-to-be reality, one thing is clear. The basketball world is holding its breath. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.